sex, drugs, rock and roll.
The crowd seems to love this.
Careful, it's slippery. I had it wet.
Exclusively on Tucson's new run, 92.1 KFMA, Green Valley, Tucson. K292CM, Summer Haven.
Loveline is meant for an adult audience. Loveline may contain sexually oriented content. Listener discretion advised. Now, here's Loveline. 1-800-LOVE-191 with Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla.
What? Are you insane?
Hey, it's Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. That is Dr. Drew. Dr. Drew is a board-certified physician, addiction medicine specialist. Phone number, 1-800-LOVE-191. Fax number, 310-854-4455. Now, I don't want to mispronounce Natalie's name. It's Raitano, right? Mm-hmm. And, of course, Sean Baker from VIP. Now, Natalie we had on the TV show, but Sean was not there because it's MTV and they like to doll it up. But this, slide up onto that mic, would you please?
I don't fit into the beautiful woman category. So.
That's all right. We don't discriminate here on Loveline. We welcome the gents as well as the ladies. VIP is the hugely successful ensemble cast. Pam Anderson is Valerie. The hell's her last name?
Irons.
Right, and
hence VIP.
She was working at a hot dog stand, and then somehow something happened. And now she's sort of she's sort of the face in front of this protection agency, personal protection agency. And I want you to know that I watched the series premiere. Drew, you know, I was in Syracuse. We were in Syracuse at the time.
Yeah.
It was Saturday night, I believe, is the night that it premiered. Mm-hmm. And I was in my room with my pants around my ankles watching this show.
That's exactly where they should be.
This is a fantastic show. Now,
You're not the only man.
It's on a million stations throughout the country. It's a syndicated show, and it seems like out here it's on Sunday during the day, at least when the new shows come on.
Yes, Sunday at 4.
Right.
And Saturday nights at midnight.
Is when the new shows air.
The new shows are Sunday.
Oh, and then Saturdays when they get rerun.
Right.
Because it feels to me like there were certain other shows, well, Baywatch was one of them, where I could never figure out what the original air date of the show was. I mean, I didn't know what day it showed. I just knew it was on.
All the time.
And I could always find
Baywatch
it.
is on all the time, though.
Well, Baywatch, once it got up and running, I mean, once it got a few years into it, I really had no idea. Like, I mean, you know that Friends is Thursday night, and that's when it airs.
You also had no idea which year you were watching.
No.
Could have been from 4 years back, 2 years back.
Well, I could kind of figure out.
Certain bikinis were from
if Pam's on it, then you know it's a couple years ago, right?
Right. And, of course, Hasselhoff's no help because he's always there. But anyway, VIP. Now, is this true? Did VIP sort of go from a action series to a sort of tongue-in-cheek action series?
It's like a combination of both.
But was the original premise that it be tongue-in-cheek?
It's always been tongue-in-cheek, absolutely.
Yeah, and Pam really pushed for the tongue-in-cheek because she knew that would be like the best way to portray Valerie Irons in this.
Right.
You know, instead of having her be this big action hero, have it by accident that she saved the day all the time.
Right.
And that's what actually works so much better because, you know, it just shows that Pam's really, really funny. You know,
absolutely.
she's funny.
When she's on time, she's very funny.
Has she been late, Adam?
Yes.
Pam, late?
I can't believe
Pam's
that.
not late.
She's not late.
She gave birth to her first child. The kid was 14. That's how late Pam Anderson is.
But he's a brilliant child.
Oh, yeah. Well, he came out with it. He had a law degree when he came out. He sued the doctor. All right. So we'll take some of these calls. And, it's a fun ensemble cast. I mean, it seems like you have a lot of cameos from celebrities on the show.
Are you going to do the show, man?
Oh, I'd love to.
You need,
right, please.
well, we have to get
Both
you
of you
guys
guys.
both on the show, and we have to be protecting you. I
We'll
mean, it's
protect
got to be
you.
like a whole plot right now. I'm
From
figuring it out
some
right now.
screaming
Where's
women.
Morgan Gendau? I need to call him about it.
It's not that far from our real life.
No,
From
no. they're-
screaming
Got
women
some
banging at the
stalkers.
door.
Except for,
sure.
I'm guessing the size of the stalkers is going to change. Drew's got a couple of hefty
midgets
gals
running
after him, and for TV, that just doesn't bode well. You'd have to
Yeah,
get someone a
know.
little slinkier. But Diane Farr was in an episode.
Oh, yeah,
I saw.
Diane. And she was
Right.
awesome.
Right. So
Right.
you have 1/3 of the cast already. All right. We'll take some calls and we'll see what happens. Suzanne or
Yeah, I'm
Susan.
here.
What are you? Are you Susan?
It's Susan.
You're
Hi,
23.
Uh-huh.
What's going on?
Actually, I was just wondering, because you guys are always talking when teens call about the teen pregnancy and abortion and adoption or something like that. I just wanted to say that I had a son when I was 17 years old. I was pregnant at 16, and I am married to his father.
Aw.
And I just want, things can work out.
How's everything going?
It's going great.
Yeah.
We've been married for 4 years, together for almost 8.
Congratulations.
How do you guys support yourselves?
So, actually, I dropped out of school when I was a junior, and my dad didn't think that I could finish, so I went back while my mom and my grandma both watched him, and I worked after school, and my husband now, he helps support him. And everything's great. We also have a daughter.
Your husband helps support him?
He helped support him when we were
Oh,
together.
I see.
but,
All right. So everyone's
Well,
supporting
He said he
everyone.
was very
Everyone's
present.
together.
He was very
Right.
present.
Yeah.
But
Well,
he was married to you at the time, right?
No, when I had my son, we weren't married.
right. How old were you when you got married?
19?
Oh, okay. So you got married later.
Yeah.
Wow, a few years later.
Yeah, because my mom went and signed papers for us to get married, so.
Well, Susan,
Uh-huh.
I'm sure if we had a few more minutes to dig around, we could find something good. But it sounds like it's working out okay.
Well, it is, but look at how she had to change her life and what she had to sacrifice and the work she had to do. How many of our Stone listeners do you think could put out what Susan put out?
Many people wouldn't. Most people wouldn't.
They
Right.
can't. They just don't have the capacity for that. So, Susan, that's sort of you are the exception, but for it to work out, someone must do at least what you've done. So,
Right.
God
Well,
bless
you know,
you.
I mean, even having kids, I still graduated from high school and
I
everything.
understand, but you obviously really
So-
put out. You
Very
really were.
determined.
You know, I mean, if they do get pregnant, I feel, in some cases, maybe they should deal with the consequences and
Always.
go ahead and pursue on with their life
Yep.
instead of just, either aborting the baby or giving it up for adoption, because later on in life they may regret that. And I know I would have if I would have done
Right.
either one of those.
At this stage,
But here's the deal.
she may regret what she did 10 years from now, though.
Well, listen, don't take a crap on Susan and her achievement, Drew.
I'm not taking a crap on her at all. I'm just
But
saying that.
I'm just saying we're playing the odds.
Yeah.
It's like some guy could call up and say, "Hey, listen, I hit a semi truck on my motorcycle. I wasn't wearing a helmet, and I'm fine."
Yeah.
And
It's
we'd go,
one in a million.
"God
Right,
bless you,"
right.
but we'd still prefer you put the helmet on.
Right.
And that's basically
She's just a very determined
Yeah,
young
and she's
lady.
Message of
grounded,
the
you
show.
know. She's got a lot of morals and things like
And her
that.
parents were obviously behind her.
Yeah.
So
whether they liked it or not. Dave.
Yeah.
You're 21.
I most certainly am.
What's going on?
All right, this is kind of weird.
Good.
Yeah, thanks. Last night I was with this girl. We were making out. We weren't having sex.
Hold on a
noticed
second.
my-
True,
what?
don't
Oh,
whack.
cut it out.
Oh, hold on a second.
Cut it out,
Don't whack the goddamn pen on the table like you're ordering or something. It's so,
I have to act out my aggressions tonight. Just leave me alone.
and I understand you're pissed
Are you a little
off because
cranky pants?
he met with some TV people,
that
which
time
is
of
always
the month?
always a painful experience for people with some intelligence. But it's as humiliating. It's a horrible experience to have. But Drew, don't clank around, would you? Please, you're like some little kid who's PO'd because he can't go to summer camp, so he's gonna make a bunch of noise at the table by banging his knife and fork together.
Oh, my God.
Dave.
Yeah.
All right, so what's going on? You're 21. You're making out. You weren't having sex.
And I noticed my hands were numb. All right?
Yeah.
Not just numb. I had lost all control over my hands. I couldn't move my fingers at all.
Right.
For how long?
I don't know. It felt like 15 minutes, but it was probably like 2 or 3.
Jeez, that's tragic. How are you going to sniff them if you can't?
Were you able to lift your hands to your face, that sort of thing?
It was basically from the wrist up.
Were you in a funny position when this happened?
No, I was just laying on my back.
Laying on your back, you were making out.
Yes.
And your hands weren't underneath anything, or
No, my hands were
Was your neck stretched or anything of that sort?
Nope.
Did you have any pain anywhere?
No, it was really, I couldn't move my fingers.
Did you feel like you were hyperventilating at all?
Not excessively, no.
Okay, there are three easy things that come to mind for me. Usually numbness or burning in your hands is some sort of carpal tunnel syndrome. So if there was something you were doing with your wrists or way you were holding your hand that might have triggered that, that's one possibility.
What kind of making out, by the way, just involves you lying on your back motionless with your hands at your side?
I never did that one.
And they weren't at my sides. They were active.
Well, that's the
Well, they can't be active if they're numb, right?
What? No, they went completely numb. I had to stop.
Instantly. They just, boom, suddenly went numb.
Were you doing something as they got numb? Or
What was she doing to you that made you go numb?
Nothing to my hands.
Wow.
Okay, you just said you were just making out. What's the real deal?
Hold on, let me explain to this. Hey, goofball.
Hey, no ganging up on me.
Listen to me.
All right.
Okay, you know how when Christopher Reeves got thrown off the horse and he went paralyzed? It's because he broke his neck, not because he broke his knee.
Yeah.
Do you understand what we're talking about here?
Okay, yeah.
So she wouldn't have had to be manipulating your hands per se. There could have been something else that happened that caused your hands to go numb. Now, what were you doing with your hands anyway?
Oh, touching and feeling, I guess.
But was it a long-term, repetitive sort of thing?
Or was it awkward? Were you bearing weight against your hand?
No, not at all.
Like her belt buckle or something?
No.
All right. The other thing is the neck, some sort of impingement at the neck. You're kind of young for that kind of thing. Hyperventilation, as I mentioned, is the other. And then there's sort of an other category. And you really ought to have a doctor take a look at this to get the right workup done to make sure it's nothing of any significance. I doubt it will end up being anything.
You mean like tumors or something?
Something that is right. Something that is making him prone to this sort of phenomenon.
Has this ever happened before?
No, this is something.
Like something in the spinal cord or something.
Like it was hitting something while he was laying down.
Exactly. So it is important that you get this worked up, Dave, okay?
Great.
All right.
All right, Dave. Good luck.
Yeah, bilateral hand numbness, if it's real, it's kind of...
It's scary? You mean for young people? Why? Because it could be... Well, when you're old, stuff's not supposed to work. You know what I mean?
He's 21.
That's what I'm saying. True, you're scared.
I just think it needs more evaluation, that's all.
Okay. Well, don't start things and then not finish them. You know what I mean?
Doctor, right?
Yeah, go ahead and tell us what's going on.
Come on, Doc.
I don't like to speculate when I really don't have any idea.
All right, well then, don't gruntulate then.
But gruntulating is so much more benign.
Yeah, but I mean, don't go, I just worry, well, okay.
Just because it piques your interest.
I would get a second opinion.
Just don't start up.
Oh, for God's sakes, we got to travel this weekend. Oh,
yes,
humanity.
That's right.
Oh.
Damn right. Right next to each
You're
other.
too busy. I'm irritable. We're traveling again.
I'm going to be talking
That's
your ear
bad.
off the
I'm
whole
working
time.
this week. I'm going to do some work.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
You're talking to me on that plane.
No,
You're not
I'm
arranging
not.
slides like you
I
did
feel
last
love in
time.
this room. I just feel love.
Oh, how many days? Now, I think Drew and I run into problems when we go on like 13, 17, 26 days straight of not having a break.
From each other.
Because when the TV show gets kicked up, or sometimes we do these college lectures or whatever, everything gets squeezed into the days we don't do radio. And if you're doing radio 5 days a week, that just leaves a couple days to squeeze in. It's really like 8 days a month that we have to squeeze stuff in. And if stuff's busy, we end up going a month without being apart. And
without sex.
The trouble starts. Yeah, if you give me a reach around once in a while, I think it could take some of the tension out of the relationship. Chris?
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
I have a couple answers to a couple questions you guys have been having. Last night you were wondering why the head of the penis is shaped the way it is.
Yeah, I thought last night, I was saying, shouldn't the penis be wedge-shaped?
I thought you said flat bar.
Well, like something you used to open a crate, yeah. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me that the head of the penis is wider than the penis itself. It seems difficult.
Strangely, I was thinking about that today.
I was too. I brought that up again today to somebody.
But I don't think nature does. There's certain things about why limbs grow the way they do and why fingers in the form they're in. There's certain limitations to what kind of form tissue can take. And I was thinking about it. Nature doesn't do well with like the cone shape.
Right.
Things have to have sort of a consistent radius and taper sometimes. Like a tree tapers towards the top, arteries taper towards distally.
Well, there's another good reason.
But it doesn't go.
Taper.
Yeah, but it doesn't go.
But look at your finger, Drew.
It tapers a little bit, but it's not a cone.
It's not a cone, but it's not bigger and more bulbous at the end than it is in the middle.
Hey, guys?
Yeah.
I've actually read a book about...
all right, Chris, go ahead.
But if a man goes to have sex with a woman who's already had sex with another guy, and the guy has to, evolutionary speaking, if he can remove the other guy's semen from the woman's depository where the cervix kind of dips down, then he has a better chance of...
So he's saying that this is this sort of shovel shape.
Right.
It kind of moves things out.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not out planting bulbs with my penis, if that's what you're talking
It's
about.
like that. It's a hoe, you know?
Yeah.
It'll sort of go
garden
in and as it
hoe.
comes out, evacuate.
It does have a little bit of that, but it's not like there's a claw. It's not like one of those machines at the bowling alley that you try to get the little stuffed animals out.
That's good. What else, Chris? Go ahead.
The ridge of the penis actually pulls out the other guy's semen.
Yeah, that's
very
interesting.
You are writing a book about that?
No, he read a book about it.
Oh, you read a book about
What
it.
else, Chris? I like you. Keep going. Tell us more.
Have you ever read Sperm Wars?
We heard about that special on Discovery. There was something like that.
Yeah, I saw a special on the making of it. No, wait, I'm thinking of something.
Okay, your second question, Dr. Drew, you were asking why people who are abused actually try to reproduce that behavior.
Yeah, what is the evolutionary advantage to that being wired into our brain?
Well, I have a theory about it, that if there's an advantage for people in general to how to reproduce their environment, then the fact that people who are abused seek out other abusers for their primary relationships, that might just be a negative artifact of some other positive trait.
That's what I think it is. I think that the same applies, that if they're raised by good parents, they'll model those positive things as well. It's just, but the negative aspects of this has sort of a spiral built into it that we're going through now.
Well, it's basically why, when your dad was an alcoholic as a little girl, do you seek an alcoholic as a woman?
Because it's your norm.
Well,
it's how you
would
but
drink
what is it about nature that would want that to be wired into our brain? Wouldn't a better way to advance the species be for us to turn against and to learn from those experiences and to go the other way, develop in a direction away from it rather than reproducing the same traumas over and over again?
It would be wonderful if that happened, but it never happens like that. Because I think that is what somebody feels is normal. So they've got to be, that's there. Even if the dad's an alcoholic, they are going to seek it out because that's what they're used to. That's what their norm is.
I think it's more than what they're used to. It's how they define themselves. We really define ourselves by how we relate to our parents. And so we go out and look for that person that resonates within our definition of ourselves.
Right, which is bad because the more of that goes on and the more kids they have and the more of them going out looking for alcoholic papa, it is a vicious cycle. Scott?
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Hey, I had a question for Dr. Drew.
Yeah.
About, I've done a lot of acid.
Yep.
And I wanted to know what the chances were for, birth defects on a baby.
I know of no convincing evidence that you were at any higher risk than anybody else.
Because somewhere I've heard that, if you do a lot of acid, maybe it was somebody that said that to me to discourage me.
Yeah.
But they said if you do a lot of acid, you could have birth, when you have children, you can have birth defects.
There are some observations out there of chromosomal changes in sperm of people who've done this, but I do not know of any convincing evidence that will increase your risk of actual birth defects.
How much acid have you done, Scott?
Well, I've baked more times than Betty Crocker.
Really?
How many times is that?
Are you still?
I would say stop now.
Do you still see trailers?
Well, you guys were talking about flashbacks the other night.
Yeah, not flashbacks. They don't predict much, but trailers predict depression in your future.
I don't really. No, I catch no trailers.
All right, good.
Occasionally, I get if I lose a little bit of weight or something.
You get flashbacks?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's interesting. That sort of goes along with the theory that flashbacks is LSD being released from fat tissue.
Yeah.
Which is one of the theories.
So you lose some weight, you burn some fat, and the fat gets re-released into your blood system?
And the LSD goes with it.
Yeah.
Wow.
If I get real sick.
Right.
If I get real sick, I lose a little bit of weight. I kind of get
No, I mean, you're talking more about losing 20 pounds over 2 months or something?
No, like with marijuana, my patients will tell me that if they go out and have a long run, they'll feel high afterwards.
Yeah.
If they was within a few weeks of them stopping it long.
Really?
Yeah.
But doesn't I don't know how much of that is just increasing the cardiovascular and
I
all
know,
that kind of stuff.
And again, in Scott's case, he's talking about being ill, and who knows what kind of changes in the brain chemistry just being sick cause that might trigger something like a plasma.
No, last night I missed. You were talking about like say if you've done 20 hits of acid.
Yeah, I'm just was sharing my experience, which was you do 100 hits, almost without exception, you're going to have depression in about 10 years, and the depressions tend to be very intense.
Yeah,
difficult
I'm
to treat.
like a happy guy, you know.
I know you sound fine right now, frankly. And
are you still presently doing acid?
No.
Oh, that's good.
And people, it's rare. In fact, I've never talked to anybody that did 100 hits that doesn't still see trailers.
Well,
So
I don't catch trailers.
Yeah,
at
it
all.
sort of puts you in a different category potentially.
No.
And I've also people who do around 20 sometimes will get problems, 20 or more hits, or before the age of 15. That's when the depression hits.
Well, I started doing acid when I was at like 15.
Yeah, well.
And how old are you now?
I'm 26.
How long did you do acid?
Let's see, from like, I started when I was 15, and then I went up till about like 92, 93.
All right, I've done acid too, so I can't calculate that. Was that 70 years?
70, no.
Just tell us how many years.
Was it last week,
Christ's
or
sake.
was it like 4 years
I
ago?
don't remember.
Started at 17. He's 26 now. He stopped at 92 and a half. Hold on. Let me get my friend Copernicus in here.
About 5, 6 years.
All right, 5, 6 years. Thank you. Our listeners cannot give you an answer. It's everything is a goddamn Jeopardy question on this show. If you say to somebody, how long have you been doing this, they can't just go 4 years.
Answer the question. What is...
Alex, what is dropped first tab at Cheap Trick concert 1986 and dropped the last tab at Us Fest in 89? At Cal Jam, I did 6 hits. What is 140 years, Alex? Please. What is that? Why can't people just give us an answer on this show? It's a certain kind of
he's hiding something.
retarded narcissism. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. If I have kids, I'm going to tape the kid's mouth shut until his 21st birthday. First off, I don't want him mouthing off. Secondly, I don't want him like hoofing on computer cleaner. I don't want him sucking up the acid. I don't want him destroying that brain. That brain is, the brain is like a beautiful river.
No helium, none of that.
And all you do is dump sewage in it. I mean, we talk to people. They do the bulk of their damage, between like 14, 15, and 21. Meanwhile, by the time they're getting their early 20s, a lot of them have left it behind. But
while
the brain
hasn't come with them.
The brain was soft and pink and pristine, and they basically rolled it in leaves.
They just lock your kids in your sleep chamber.
Yeah, I'm going to have a sleep chamber too one day. My napping zone. A room with no windows, just the sounds of whales humping. No phone, and like a humidifier going. You know what I mean? You wouldn't know where it was. You would probably, it would be like so dark and so quiet that you would probably hallucinate the second you walked in there. You know what I'm talking about? And a huge stack of pornography. Just in case I got trapped in there. It's like an earthquake and the door jam shifted and I couldn't get out for 20 minutes or something.
Let's go to break, 20 minutes. Let's go
let's say a half hour. Yeah, I'd need pornography. All right. We are going to take ourselves a little break. We have, I'd say about 2/6 of the cast of VIP in here tonight, and we'll come back in a minute. I missed that. Yeah, I missed that one. Natalie Raitano's here. So is Sean Baker from VIP.
What's happening?
That is the hit syndicated show, which, let's see. What's it been on now for, how did I see it? It's been 4 months or something like
September.
that?
September, yeah.
Late September.
You were in Syracuse in September?
We must have been, because I'm telling you, I watched the first one. I quite
With
frankly,
your pants around your heels.
I was. It's better than up over my head.
Very true.
Kill yourself trying to get your pants over your head. I watched the first one because I got to be honest with you. I wasn't sure how long it was going to last. I didn't know. It seemed like it could go either way.
Yeah.
It was either gonna catch on or it wasn't. I mean, it's a quirky show.
The people that made it #1, man. They're watching.
It's number one in syndication. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing.
Across the board. I think we're already scheduled to come back next season. So.
Jesus. And
Check your local listings.
I was
check it out.
See, there was a show with Brian Bosworth in it called Lawless that came out about a year and a half ago, and thank God I watched the first episode of that because there was no, second episode.
Yeah,
I know.
Did you have it on tape?
I should have taped it. I really should have.
But you didn't know. You didn't know.
No. Well,
Did you know watching it that it was going to?
No, I didn't know, but like I said, I had a feeling it could go one way or the other, so I decided not to take any chances.
Right.
So
well, then you should have taped it then.
I know, but with my pants around my ankles, I couldn't get to the VCR. Hey, he's a good-looking man.
Okay.
He's all muscle, that Bosworth.
Since when do you have trouble operating the VCR when you have your pants around your ankles?
Oh, that's true. Drew knows.
Running from the bathroom.
Drew knows, yeah. Very good point there, Drew. I'm sure, because I know human nature, that if I was ever in some sort of accident where I was bucked off a horse or something, I would be able to manipulate the VCR using my tongue. I'd be, you know how those guys who get paralyzed?
Oh my God!
Those guys are like,
hey man, I'm not gonna laugh at that, man.
They lose a limb and they learn how to play the guitar with their foot.
They learn how to operate a wheelchair.
I'm
Desmond laughs at Becky.
Condone that type of behavior.
Do you guys know about Becky?
No.
The Barbie doll that's in a wheelchair, and she's Barbie's friend. She's like the school photographer.
I remember when this came out a year ago or so, where there was some controversy about quadriplegic Barbie or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great for kids in wheelchairs, but you know, other people are trying to make it fun. I don't like that.
That's ridiculous.
You don't like the idea that there is one,
I
or
like
the idea
it, but I
that
don't
they
like
make
that
fun
people
of them?
make fun of them. You know?
Right.
No, it's bad karma.
Yeah.
I was just saying,
Shame
I
on
wasn't
you.
making fun of those people. I was just saying, if it happened to me, I would
right.
learn to
Do
work
that.
the VCR with my tongue. That's all.
Before
Desmond.
anything else.
Yes, before I learned how to turn the lights on
Maybe
or
get an
dial the
assistant
phone.
to do it for you.
Yeah, it's a little tough to focus with some guy standing around.
Chris, what's going on there? Chris?
Hello.
Hi, what's up?
I masturbate quite often.
Congratulations.
How often?
4 to 6 times a day.
Okay.
You sound like
he's making
you
a
do.
run at my crown.
And
Drew.
your question?
That's not good.
I was wondering if there's how I could cut back.
Don't masturbate so much.
Hold on, let me write
Remote.
that down, Drew. Yeah,
Remote control.
4 to 6 times a day.
Ooh.
And you're 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've not hit your stride yet. Believe me. At 14, I was just planning my masturbatory career. I hadn't even begun yet. I was in the scheming phase, the blueprint phase, if you will.
You're gonna wear yourself out, man.
Well, Chris,
Save some for later.
what's going on, pal? What's the deal? Where do you think this is coming from?
Nothing.
Do you have any other problems?
You don't sound depressed at all, Chris.
Were you ever abused?
Was we ever abused? Thank you, Sean.
I've got spanked, but nothing.
But no
really.
sexual abuse anywhere?
No.
Any history of manic depression in your family?
Not that I know of.
Would you consider yourself depressed?
Not really.
Yeah.
Do you feel guilty about doing this?
No.
Are you able to carry on a normal level of activity otherwise?
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's just a stage.
Hold on a second. Let me sweat.
Have you ever been with a young lady, young girl? Have you ever had sex with a girl?
I'm going with no.
Not
but,
yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
How about with a male?
No.
No. You interested in guys at all?
No.
Okay. Chris, maybe you're a little bit nervous, but you don't seem like you have the greatest demeanor. You sound kind of maybe a little hostile, maybe a little depressed. Is that how you normally are? Do you have lots of friends? Are you popular? You do well in school? You play sports?
Did you just masturbate?
Yeah.
You did, see.
You just
Yeah,
did. Now,
that's- yeah, that's what it
are you? Do you think you're a little bit depressed, Chris?
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah. Do you have friends?
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
Okay. And you have any girlfriends or anyone you're interested in?
Not at the moment.
Right. You play any sports?
Baseball.
Oh, baseball. All right.
You take any medication?
Just for allergies.
All right.
So, are you good at baseball?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Problem is, when he can't get the ball out of his hand once he tries to turn the double play, it just sticks. He has to actually run it over to first base. Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
What do you want us to tell you? Some tips for slowing down, or
Yeah.
why do you want to slow down?
You know what?
I just didn't think it was...
You don't believe him?
Yeah, I don't think Chris has this problem.
You don't?
Yeah, I finally realized that's...
It sounds a little bogus.
That's why it doesn't fit. It's not you, is it, Chris? You're making this one up. Yeah.
Chris, you have... here's my whole point. Whether you have this problem or not, you listen to the show, right?
Yeah.
You're calling a national radio show. You can't kick it up a notch. It doesn't. You don't get any adrenaline surge from being. I mean, hell, I come to this job. It's been 3 years now. I kick it up a notch when I come on the air. I'm tired. I'm pissed off.
You don't fool
I want to go home. All right, I may not be fooling anybody, but I kick it up a notch. I don't just sit there and go.
Well, maybe he just got done masturbating, and he's
He
just
did.
like on
He just
that
did.
relaxation period
He
until
just
the
mas-
next.
He just said it.
Until he gets hyped up for the next one.
He's in his. He's in. Well, it's not refractory. It's a rejectory period. I think Chris has entered.
Chris,
All right,
you're
Chris.
losing a lot of sperm, man.
Here's the deal.
Stop it.
Either you're full of ass, or
that's something you're not telling
you're
us.
depressed.
Yeah.
Or possibly both. And I may go for both. But if you want to not masturbate so much, why don't you stop whacking off? All right.
Okay.
All right, there, Chris.
Do you think it was a lie, Doctor?
You're just too detached. It's too detached. Either that or it's... No.
I know, but listen, all you a-holes out there, if you're going to call up and you're going to do a bogus question, kick it up a notch. You know what I'm saying? If you
Get
want to...
psyched, okay? You're on Loveline.
Oh, for Christ's sake. I don't know what the hell's wrong with the youth of this country, Drew. I mean, here's our callers that do this all day long. You go, where are you from? They go, I'm from Poughkeepsie. Poughkeepsie, I got a cousin from Poughkeepsie. And they go, They never go, hey, far out, where?
And then they go, well, okay. Now, Sally was going down to the store here, Jim's store, and then Will...
They start working in the local landmarks.
Right.
Nikki?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Nikki.
You're 17. You're on with Natalie and Sean from VIP.
guys.
How you
Hey,
doing?
Nikki.
It's the number one syndicated show
watch
in the
the
world.
show, Nikki?
Yeah, I got a problem. The other day, my boyfriend and I were having sex, and he came, and then he kept going, and then he told me that the condom broke. And then, like, a day after, I found it. Like, it came out, so it was, like, stuck inside of me.
The condom itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now I'm, like, worried, what are the chances of me, like, being pregnant?
That would be considered an unprotected sexual encounter.
So that makes it even worse.
No, it's the same as if you hadn't used a condom.
The condom is not some sort of a sperm catalyst that intensifies it or something. It's just as if you weren't wearing one,
She
right?
just found it today.
How long ago was it?
We had sex on Saturday, and I found it Monday morning.
Oh, but you haven't done anything about it since then. Why not the morning after pill? That you should have run right out and get the morning after pill then, and there would be virtually no risk of pregnancy.
Did you use a spermicidal lubricant?
Yes.
Okay.
Nah, it doesn't work.
You did?
Yes.
Oh, you did? Well, it
doesn't work.
It's not. Is it a help?
It's a plus.
Better than nothing, right?
Almost.
Wow.
But for everybody out there, please, for crying out loud, I mean, why isn't this morning after pill as available or as widely accepted as the condom itself? It is.
Let me tell you that happened to me. A condom broke on me, and I went right to my doctor. I have like a great doctor here, and she wouldn't give me the morning after pill.
Why?
But they gave me I got a shot.
Why would she give you the morning after pill?
Because she said I'll get too sick from it. I guess it really makes people sick.
Sometimes, but it's not that bad. I mean, people use it people should be using it like.
Right. I mean,
crazy.
I went immediately, but you have to go immediately.
What kind of shot she give you?
Progesterone?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then found out it was just during oral sex, and everyone felt stupid.
But honestly, I think that it's like they ought to issue the morning after pill with the condoms. I mean, that's the only way to make that's the way to ensure the condom safety.
Yeah.
Right.
As a protection against pregnancy, anyways.
Oh, we don't have a problem in
You
this
have
country
70
with unwanted teen pregnancy, so Drew.
You have 72 hours.
Let's get back to secondhand smoke. That's the real problem.
You have 72 hours after an unprotected encounter to take these pills, and you will reduce your risk of pregnancy by 70 or 80%. You know, I was mentioning this to a friend of ours, Chip, today.
Yes.
And Chip goes, "Ooh, you don't want to talk about that. That's a political issue." And I go, "It's a political issue." Well, the anti-abortionists, they're going to come on to you. Wait a minute. There's nothing. All this pill does is suppress ovulation. It prevents conception.
Right.
Period.
Right. But you understand, Drew, that the religious wackos out there, or any of the wackos, any of the people writing letters, They don't really give a rat's ass about whatever it is they're writing the letter for. It's the process of writing letters and being a pain in the ass and not having a life. That's really what they're most attracted to. Listen to me closely out there, all you screwballs. Don't think I don't see through you like a goddamn hefty bag. You're crystal clear, you idiots. I meant a sandwich bag. The hefty bag's green. You can't see through there, but you know what's in them.
We understand.
Dog crap. That's what's in a hefty bag.
For Nikki is that leaving something stuck in the vagina for a few days can increase the risk of toxic shock.
Well, she only had 1 day in there.
Toxic shock syndrome is something to be aware of.
Well, did you not feel it? I mean,
she didn't know. You don't have to. Those things can get stuck in there and people not know. It's a common thing.
Well, sometimes when you have it in different times of the month, you have a better chance of not being pregnant. Like if it's right after your period or right before. Sometimes. I mean, there is that
potential
chance.
Well, what's Nikki going to do now? And then just wait a minute.
She's going to get a pregnancy test in 2 weeks.
Yeah, she's got to find out.
Nikki.
Yeah.
So you did not know about the morning after pill?
No.
Oh. You'd never heard of it?
No.
Oh, man.
Where do you live?
Failed Nikki.
Oh, you failed her. I made a good fart joke earlier in the week, and that's my job. Where do you live? What city?
In Riverside.
On Riverside.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Well, try not to stress about it until you take the test.
Yeah. Just remember, don't freak out until you know, but find out.
In 2 weeks.
Find out for sure.
Yeah, see, it's really, the problem really is people like Nikki, because she's the kind who doesn't really sweat the details too much, it seems.
Well, she sounds really scared right now.
And if she gets pregnant, I'm worried that she may not sweat that detail too much either. I just
not
really
sweat it. Just don't stress about the fact that it may be. All you can do is wait.
Wait until you find out.
You know what I mean?
And then take care of it.
I just really wish that we could educate the society about this process or about this technology that we have, which is these pills. There's no PSAs about it. Doesn't seem to be discussed on anything. To the best of my knowledge, this is the only show I'm aware of where it even comes up. We try to bring it up as much as possible, but it's going to take more than us bringing it up, and it just kills me that as a society, the politicians are so wrapped up in secondhand smoke and
Monica
Lewinsky that they can't get to anything that's real. I mean, to me, and we've gone off on this, Jag, more than once, but it's high time I go off again. There's one problem that faces this country. It is unwanted kids and the parents, the horrible parents of those unwanted kids. And you can talk about crime, and you can talk about building prisons, and you can talk about drug abuse, and you can talk about unemployment, and you can talk about the welfare state, and you can talk about sexual abuse and physical abuse, and you can talk about overcrowding in the schools, and you can talk about every goddamn subject the politicians love to talk about. But they won't talk about the one subject that feeds every one of those subjects, which is unwanted kids growing up in an environment that has nothing to do with a nurturing environment, being raised by people who couldn't raise. Would you turn that crap down? People who couldn't raise a chinchilla are raising these kids.
Right.
And we wonder,
and
think about the one kid. Think about the one kid that gets raised by the horrible, the drunken dad or the single mother who can't take care of the kid. That kid get in and out of prison. That kid getting hooked on drugs. That kid unemployed. That kid is going to cost society potentially millions of dollars. I mean, by the time you get to the fact that the guy's got a parole officer, or if it's a girl, she's gotten pregnant at 15. I mean, look at what that one kid does. We don't want to direct our attention to that subject. We want to talk about the aftermath. All we want to talk about is building more prisons for that kid, but we don't want to talk about that kid not having a kid. I can't figure this out.
The phone number, if anybody interested in the morning after pill, is 888-NOT, N-O-T, 2, number 2, late, L-A-T-E. 1-888-NOT-TOO-LATE, and we'll be back in a second.
Loveline. Be right back in a minute.
Loveline. They are treading water in a sea of retarded sexuality.
Loveline. Exclusively on Tucson's New Rock. 92.1 KFMA.
Hi, this is Natasha Henstridge, and you're listening to Loveline with the sexy Adam Carolla and the fabulously sensitive Dr. Drew.
Who was that? Oh, Natasha Henstridge, the species gal. Oh, you know, she said she'd go out on a date with me.
Would have gone out on a date.
What, yeah. Sorry.
If you were to
Natalie Raitano and Sean Baker are both here from VIP.
Hello.
That is the hugely successful syndicated show with Pamela Anderson, or Pamela Lee. It's Pamela Lee, right?
Pamela Lee.
Pamela Anderson?
Pamela Anderson.
Oh, it's Pam Anderson now?
No, she says Pamela Anderson Lee.
Actually, I think it's Pam Anderson and Pamela Lee.
No,
it's
Pamela
not.
Anderson Lee.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Well,
Okay.
sometimes Pam Anderson.
All right, she can't.
beautiful woman,
Can't drop the name. All right.
The
Drew?
kids.
Well, her boys have the name.
Oh, I
Right.
see. Right. All
She
right.
just have the same last name as her son.
Lori,
Yeah.
you're 35. What's going on?
Well, I've stumbled into the position of I've been giving oral sex since I was 13, and I don't like to take any of my clothes off. I don't like having intercourse. I like just being in control and having all of my clothes on.
You want to do a little gambling?
Shh, it's too easy.
Too easy?
Yeah.
Sexual
she just told
abuse?
you. She's 13.
Somebody-
She stumbled into oral sex.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow. You never stopped, huh?
Yeah. How old was the guy when you were 13?
18.
Yeah.
He was a neighbor.
Sure.
Did somebody start doing weird stuff to you even before that?
He had, we'd play, football, and he'd tackle me and stuff, and one of the neighbors had a pinball machine in their basement, and I was playing pinball, and he stuck his hand down my pants.
When you were how old?
12.
All right, but before that even.
Somebody hit you before that? Your parents ever used physical?
No, I had never been hit or anything.
Yeah, your parents good folks?
Yeah.
No alcoholism?
No alcoholism, no drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Your father ever abused your mom?
Pardon me?
Did your dad ever abuse your mom?
No,
So what's up? I mean,
Well, it seems that for some reason I've left myself wide open to be a victim, and I can't understand why. Because
That's what we're trying to get at. That's
Yeah.
what exactly we're trying to get at.
Well,
I mean, clearly you were victimized at 13, but even...
And well, at 15, I lost my virginity.
you got raped at some point, right? Someone raped you at some point?
15.
Yeah.
15. How old was the guy?
Oh God, 22.
You know, you can make a victim too. It doesn't have to be the early rearing. Somebody that isn't supported properly and doesn't feel good enough about themselves, and who starts falling into that victim role can often get into it in a big way.
Yeah. You're saying it doesn't have to be overt abuse. It can be a more subtle form of neglect that lowers the self-esteem enough so that when everything, the stars align just right, you get abused.
Away it goes, yeah.
And then once you start that, now you're
right.
in.
And you never had any kind of rape counseling or any treatment of any type, Lori?
No, I didn't tell anybody it happened.
Right. Yeah, that's what they count on when they pick you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then
You carry it forever.
I had a boyfriend that I did have intercourse with, and I wound up having a tubal pregnancy.
Ouch.
And it exploded, and I had to have emergency surgery.
Wow.
And that was when I was 28. And when I got out of the hospital, they said, no sex for 6 weeks. He took me to his house, and he had a water bed, and he held me down with my face in the bed.
This is your boyfriend.
So
And sodomized me.
That's nice.
Oh my God.
And so, I broke up with
wonder.
him.
You broke up with him?
That's a good sign.
Did you tell anybody about that?
No.
Well,
No, I
then
just
he
got away
left. He
from
left the toilet seat up too. So between the sodomy and the toilet seats,
Lori, why don't you get some help, get some treatment? There's a lot of stuff to have to deal
She's
with
been
by yourself.
totally abused.
Yeah, that's right.
I would have turned lesbian 15 years ago if I were
Exactly.
you, Lori. Oh, really now?
Really, Lori, get some treatment. This is the kind of thing.
Really jumped on the exactly.
This is
You're
the kind
right
of
on that.
situation that should be really quite responsive
GPC.
to treatment.
Gay Players Club.
There's medication that can help. You sound depressed right now, and that's part of it.
Bipolar.
All right, so you're on medication right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, but Lori, just to
by the way, the perfect family.
Just to satisfy us.
Suddenly, that's a question.
The family wasn't
about to say that.
Wasn't that great, was it?
You must have had a bipolar mom or dad.
My mom's bipolar.
Okay.
And so there's no alcoholism, no abuse, no one ever hit you.
But a bipolar mom.
But there's a bipolar mom, right?
Right.
That'll do a number on you.
Yeah, it will.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah, she wasn't diagnosed until this year.
Oh boy.
So you don't have any kids yourself then, right?
No kids.
But ask your psychiatrist what medication you on right now.
Depakote.
Anything else?
Effexor.
Okay. Anything else?
Haldol.
Okay.
Go ahead and spill them all, Lori. Let's turn over all the cards.
It's Cogentin or something like that too. What the hell?
Cogentin and lorazepam.
Lorazepam. Okay, it's a lot of sedating medication.
Oh.
I mean, and it's also antipsychotic medication.
Oh, it is. All right.
So it's a lot of stuff. But ask the guys that are whoever's treating you for the bipolarity, if they might not get you a therapist you can talk to too, because that's an important part of dealing with depression, whether unipolar or bipolar. So that's not too much. It's not, bipolarity is all about chemistry. It really is.
I'm an atheist, so therefore I don't believe in heaven, but I pray there's a hell. I really do.
For who?
For the guys who perpetrate this kind of abuse. You know, the guy who, after the tubal pregnancy explodes, takes her home for a little sodomy.
That's...
you know what I mean? I'm not really interested in the good people being rewarded, but I'm more interested in the bad people being punished.
Yeah, I'm with you.
The glass is half empty, if you ask me.
Well, what goes around comes around. He's definitely going to get his.
I really hope it does.
Absolutely.
And I'm hoping because...
God bless you.
I know it doesn't always come around in your lifetime other than you have to carry it around. Meaning, my philosophical approach to this is you don't get hit by a train, you just are the guy. You're rapist, or you're thief, or you're whatever you are, and that's what you have to look at in the mirror every day when you get up in the morning, and all the jewelry in the world ain't gonna hide that fact. All right, Drew?
Break.
You want to take a break? All right. Who are we talking to when we come back? And why don't you, come on, start selling these calls.
Talk to Lance, who's got cystic fibrosis. Both parents are dead.
All right, Drew, I'm this close to killing myself.
All right.
Already.
To the side of my list.
All right.
I'm depressed.
Saw a girlfriend. Here you go. Austin saw his girlfriend in a porn film.
Okay. Now we're talking. All right, we'll be back. All right. Hey. Drew, you should have stopped me earlier. Running a little bit late for a 10-second break. Yeah, get involved with the show. All right, we're going to take a little 10-second affiliate identification here, and we'll be back with more Loveline in 10 seconds.
This is Loveline on
Radio Station.
Illegal broadcasters. 92.1 KFMA, Green Valley, Tucson.
It is Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. It's Dr. Drew. Natalie Raitano's here. Sean Baker's here, both from VIP. VIP is on, is it on different times in different parts of the country?
Yes, you have to check your local listings.
Right.
But in Los Angeles, it's on Saturday night at midnight. And Sunday at 4.
Yeah, 4 o'clock.
Right, but when I was in Syracuse, I think it was Saturday night that I saw it. Wasn't that okay, you don't know. But it wasn't.
How long ago
We weren't doing the radio show.
No.
Yeah, it was Saturday night.
Could have been Friday.
It could have been a Friday, Saturday night. Saturday night.
Syracuse, we went somewhere first before we went to Syracuse, so it must have been a
Saturday night. That's right. So
face it, you were by yourself watching VIP on a Saturday night.
Yeah, absolutely.
With your pants around your heels.
Yeah, we found out we were the most boring college touring people in the country.
You didn't go to any frat parties?
We go to sleep.
No, we thought that's what you were supposed to do.
Yeah.
We didn't know that these other. We start talking to the guys who book these colleges, and we find out that everyone from Newt Gingrich to Woody Harrelson's going through there, and they all go out and party. You know, they like round up chicks, go back to the hotel.
Newt? Yeah.
They go. Yeah. Newt went out drinking with the fraternity guys.
We look for food and then a bed. Sleep.
Yeah.
That's it. That's our deal.
So, eat and nap and complain. That's our third favorite thing to do. Austin.
Yes.
You're 23.
Yes.
What's going on?
Well, I asked this girl to marry me, right?
I swear I heard a smoke alarm behind him. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Low battery.
Hello?
Yeah.
And that was a while back.
What was a while back?
Well, this girl I asked her to marry me, right? This was like 3 years ago.
When you were 20?
Yeah.
How old was she?
Oh, she's older.
All right.
Hey, Austin.
Yeah.
Are you high?
No, I'm not high.
All right.
He sounds like he's a little bit nervous.
Oh, okay. So can you speak up a little bit?
Okay.
Okay. You start off fine, but you kind of wind down. Austin goes, I got to tell you, when I was 20, I had this chick.
Yeah.
How old was she? Well, she was... It's like something coasting to a stop.
Man?
What's the deal here?
Well, we've never had sex or nothing, or stuff like that. You know, we're just like.
No.
Yeah, but this is somebody you wanted to marry.
Yeah.
Why didn't you marry her? How old is
she?
Oh, she was about, I'd say, something like 35. She wouldn't even tell me.
She was 35?
No sex, heavy petting.
Is she a teacher?
No.
How'd you meet her?
I won't tell you that.
Why not?
Because
you're on Loveline. Spill it.
No one will know.
What happened?
No, I'm not going to tell you.
All right,
Okay, anyways, what happened?
Is she a stripper?
Let me regain control of the show here.
I'll tell you what.
Austin.
I'll tell you what I'll tell you.
Austin, shut up.
What happened?
Go ahead.
Okay, and so she wouldn't give me an answer. So, but I kept in touch with one of her friends, and so like she'd be doing her little thing and stuff, and she I'd check in with her. So like as years went by, and then I ran into this video, this porn video, and I didn't really pay attention to it until I finally looked at the person in the eyes that was in the girl that was in the porn video, and it was her.
All right, which would be a compelling story if you actually knew her. But you never had sex with her. You don't know how old she was. You're not sure how you met her. So it doesn't have much of a story, Austin. You understand?
We're missing like a huge sections of the story.
Where did you meet her?
What were you doing at the porno?
Oh, my friend gave it to me.
Okay.
Because I got a new VCR.
How did you meet her?
How did I meet her?
Yeah.
Well, she was kind of my therapist.
Oh, please.
You're
a therapist was not in a porn video.
Yes.
Really?
She was a sex therapist?
Dr. Drew, what's up with that?
Then you have an obligation. If that's true, you must report this.
Oh, who's going to believe?
Who am I gonna report it
Who's going to believe Austin?
You just report it to whatever state license. What state are you in?
California.
Medical Board of Quality Assurance. You just call the Consumer Affairs. And
what's wrong with that, Drew?
And you asked her to marry you?
And are you sure that it was her in the video?
It doesn't matter. He did this person. How long did you date her?
Excuse me?
And by the way, there are exploitative people out there and that work in mental health.
Sean, hold on.
How long did you date her?
Yeah.
How long?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to... Sean, stop repeating everything. How long did you date her?
Well...
Give us a number.
Hello? I met her when I was 13.
How long did you date her?
I first dated her when I graduated from high school, and she took me to college. And then she took off and stuff like that.
All right, hold on a second.
No. Stuff like that.
Well, what if she abused him?
Listen,
he doesn't sound right.
Sean may need some medication himself, or he's just... or I give Sean three choices. He needs medication, lying, or just a real imbecile.
Or totally has been abused.
But
by this
our
particular
listeners cannot, our callers cannot answer questions. Give me a moment alone with Austin here. Austin, now listen to me. Are you? Do you work?
Right now, yeah.
Okay, that's all that counts. If you're working now, you're working. I know the weekend rolls around and then you're not working, but you're working now.
Yeah.
And are you on any medication?
No.
And do you have any, mental problems?
No.
No?
Nope.
Then why are you unable to answer basic questions?
Why are you yelling at me?
Because I'm sick and tired of you and your attitude. I've asked you 3 times how long you've dated her. You've gave us 3 answers, none of which had a number in them. Now, how long did you date her?
Well, I wouldn't... Well,
Total.
Listen, I met Drew 5 years ago, but we didn't start dating until 97. So I tell everyone 2 years.
Well, I started dating her in 93.
Fine. So it's been 6 years.
Yeah.
And then you broke up how long ago?
Well, we weren't in contact for a while because I wasn't calling her.
All right.
This
So,
guy's
Sean,
an asshole.
what is
Never
your,
said where you met her.
You have no question. Listen, your therapist was in pornography, theoretically, but you never had sex with her, yet you were going to get married, but you don't know how old she is.
Call Consumer Affairs, Austin. You must report this person. It is crucial before she is unleashed on somebody else.
Well, I feel like
it is
it's pretty nasty, and it's sick, and it's
all right. Who cares?
Something's wrong with his testicle?
That's... Who is that?
Victoria Jackson.
Listen, is Sean either bogus or very
disturbed?
Very disturbed.
Listen, he needs a real therapist who maintains boundaries and does not have a dual relationship
Listen,
with him.
I shouldn't be yelling at disturbed people, but I can't.
It's like, what if she was like really abused by
Yeah,
this
and I've heard
woman?
some really wild stories out there. This is not impossible. It's not impossible.
But listen, all right, I want to
Just
make
because he's a guy doesn't
But
mean
he
he
can't
can't be
answer some
abused.
basic questions. How
Well,
long
maybe
did you
because
meet her?
he- like
How
he
long ago
said
did you
he's-
meet her? Where did you meet her?
Yeah, but you know what?
13 and
being
he's-
that resistive goes along with having been abused and being that manipulative.
That's true.
I know.
And he
but
wants to marry her. He doesn't know.
She's the
her name.
pornographic therapist, child abuser.
Well, listen, here's my new rule. You have to be able to answer the basic questions, or you cannot come on this show.
You guys hear that?
You
Cohen?
just have to. And
We're setting rules now.
If you're too screwed up to
It's
be able
happening.
to achieve that, I'm sorry. But did you notice, by the way, as soon as I started yelling at Sean, he immediately came back. He sounded perfectly lucid. There was no problem with Sean in defending himself or in acknowledging me yelling at him.
I'm not.
Damn it! Why are you yelling at me?
Just
I'm
right.
not clear that perpetuating the abuse cycle with our listeners is appropriate. But let's
All right,
go on,
but-
shall we?
Okay. All right. I want to treat them like adults,
next call.
Drew, not like mental patients, Drew. It's very
We'll
condescending.
yell at you. How's that work?
Brad.
Hello.
You're 30.
Hello.
Oh, thank God. Brad. Brad, come on. Did you want to kill our last caller?
Well, I think you were in the right there.
It was driving me insane.
It's pretty funny humor, though, to listen to it on the radio.
But he could never tell us how long he was dating her.
I think it was bogus.
I do, too.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think he was majorly abused.
I don't think it was... I think he was in bad shape, but I think a lot of that was sort of...
Natalie's pissed off at you.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
Oh, listen to me.
Get him back on the line.
Listen, here's what
Guys,
happened.
gotta go.
He was in bad shape, that caller.
Stop
You're
backpedaling
being
now.
totally insensitive.
Stop backpedaling. She's
You get
pissed.
nervous
You're
now.
like, just because he's a guy, a woman can't. I feel like, you think he's totally
He was
lying.
abused by an older
I feel like
woman.
that he was abused. He sounded distraught.
Did you think he was abused by her or by
Yes.
somebody before her?
I
All
mean-
the above.
Probably both.
I mean, he's talking about 13 years old being in therapy. I mean, what's up with that? There's a problem there.
Right. But I choose to treat our callers like adults. And I asked him 3 or 4 times a question, and he wouldn't answer. And he was capable of answering questions. He
It
perked
didn't
up.
sound like he
He's
was.
going to be standing outside the station tomorrow, waiting for you, Adam.
That's
I'm
right,
gonna be
using
here.
one of my guns from the show.
Brad.
We'll give him any ideas.
What's the question, Brad?
Drew, Adam, just wanted to point something out for you about the morning after pill.
Yeah?
No one buys the taxpayers anymore. X amount of pregnancies, but it's still not a real money issue. California, put the tax law in saying that minorities or introduced aliens or whatever couldn't get benefits because it was costing them money. If you point out to the people, if you get Planned Parenthood, someone has to have the numbers of how much money it costs for these unwanted children, then have Planned Parenthood give that information to the people who make the morning after pill and point out to them how much money they would make if they could convince the taxpayers how much they would save.
Well, yeah, but the taxpayers don't make policy in terms of where the money goes. I
Well,
mean,
the taxpayers get really upset when they find out how much they're wasting.
Yeah, but how much money are you wasting on the morning after pill compared to prenatal care?
And that's what he's saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
raising a child.
I know that's what you're saying, but I don't think the taxpayers are. I mean, I don't give them much credit, but they can do that simple math.
Yeah, but
I mean, it's not being presented to them that way.
It's not being presented, period.
It's not being presented.
Right.
Listen, you could take the world's stupidest taxpayer and present them with that dilemma. Listen, do you want to fork out 59 cents for the morning after pill, or do you want to take care of some kid for the rest of his life? I think they could do that math. It does, but what we're saying is it's not being brought up. It's not being discussed.
But the people who need to bring it up, the people who have the money to start that campaign, is the medicine company that made the pill. And if they are stymied by not being able to find a way to get to the taxpayers to say, listen, talk to your representatives, talk to these people, then they don't understand what's going on. I mean, that's a real huge tax savings. Planned Parenthood...
So you think the government ought to get behind the marketing and distribution of this pill?
Planned Parenthood...
No,
well, that's not the government.
He's saying the company should get behind it.
Yeah, but that's what...
No, he's saying the company should present their data to the government for policy, and that's like, what difference does that make to the company that makes the pill?
Well, they want to move more product.
Yeah, but the government isn't going to move it for them. It's the market, it's the private sector.
Yeah, but the voters are going to say, hey, wait a minute, we don't have, the pill is not available in California. It's not being advertised. We don't have good sex education in our schools.
No, we are having good sex education in the schools. The problem is that it doesn't change the kids' behavior, but you are making a point worthwhile, which I think is that we could consider making it available over the counter in California, and that is a policy issue.
I'm in Kansas. I don't even know what the policies are here for it.
It's prescription. Yeah. Thanks, Brad.
Yep. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Brad. Brad doing a lot of thinking on the pill for a guy.
Must have went through it a few times.
Brad? Jack.
Hey.
Hey, you're 23.
How you doing?
Good.
Well, listen, I had a thought about your problem concerning the abusive relationships as a function of natural selection.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems that you're approaching the problem with the assumption that natural selection will necessarily benefit human beings. But in fact, it doesn't. It benefits the survival of the most perfectly perpetuating species. And so if human beings are not the most perfectly perpetuating species, then natural selection will eventually eliminate us.
Basically, he's making a case for insects.
Roaches?
Well, not necessarily roaches, but...
insects.
Natural selection only eliminates species that have flaws. And if human beings are flawed, then natural selection will eliminate human beings.
But that's you're really making you're creating my question for me, recrafting it, which is, if natural selection should be eliminating flaws from the species, that only the more evolved form of the human should be the one surviving, why is this?
Oh, well, you're making the assumption that it's going to benefit the more perfect human beings.
Yeah, right.
But it won't necessarily.
Okay.
It may eliminate that species
entirely,
completely.
Okay.
And that will benefit nature as a whole, because evolution doesn't differentiate between the species.
No, I understand.
Yeah. Well, maybe it'd probably be better off for the roaches if we were just gotten rid of, don't you think?
Well, yeah. Well, the roaches have done really, really well. Actually, they've been around some 500 million years.
Yeah.
Maybe a few 100,000.
Still not the lifestyle they'd like to have, I imagine. But
yeah, they do fine for themselves. I think. I don't know.
Strangely, I just watched the movie Ants tonight with my kids.
Jack doing a lot of philosophizing about the life of the roach. Jack, what do you do for a living?
Well, I'm a student.
No,
what?
Perfect.
What?
Computer science is my major.
Computers.
Mm. You like guys or gals?
I like girls.
All right. Dungeons and Dragons? You get into that at all?
No, not at all. I do
VIP?
philosophy as a kind of a hobby.
You watch the beautiful women on VIP?
I don't watch TV. I'm sorry there, Sean.
Oh, right. That's unfortunate. You missed the Loveline, too.
But he got the Victoria's Secret thing on the internet.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. You still...
No, I'm not that way. I'm doing just fine, thank you.
All right. All right. Hey, thank you, Jack. And Jack, be careful with that philosophy major. Or I don't know if it's your major, but
hobby.
Even studying philosophy is very, very dangerous.
He's a computer science. Philosophy is his hobby. Is that?
I had a friend who was a philosophy major in college. He would make these horrible philosophical arguments with me, and then after I was done arguing one side of it, he would slowly start working into my argument, and I would slide over to his side of it. And at the end of the thing, he would end up arguing both sides of it, which is really the ultimate mind
Who
F.
is this? Who?
A friend of mine named Carl that's up in Seattle. Really, he listened to me. He never made a penny. You know what I mean?
We're going up there on Friday. We can see him.
Oh, we are?
Yeah.
Hey, Carl.
Oh, geez, I should give him a call. That's right. All right, Drew.
Yeah.
Why don't we break on time? Want to do that?
I don't believe this is on time, though.
Well,
all right, 1 minute
no,
early.
it will be when you sell the call properly.
Okay, well, let's finally talk to Lance, might we? This is Lance, who thinks he's ruining his relationship with his girlfriend because of his cystic fibrosis and, I guess, recent death of his parents.
All right. We'll be back.
Oh, yeah! Everybody now!
Hi, this is Jonathan.
And this is David from Corny. You're listening to Loveline
with Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew. Hey, Natalie Raitano and Sean Baker, the ratings maker, are in here today. VIP is the name of their show. That's the one where Pamela Anderson plays, she plays Pamela Anderson. I know she plays somebody named Valerie Irons in the show, but to me, Pamela Anderson is Pamela Anderson. Drew, what do you think of that statement?
Pamela Anderson is Pamela Anderson.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't see her as
anybody else.
I think that's the name her mom gave her.
And that's, but what I mean is
you can put any character's name on her, it's still her.
Yeah, when she does a show, it's sort of her.
Right.
People like I'll give you a good example. There's a lot of sitcoms and dramas and TV shows where people only know the character's name.
Yeah.
They go, you know what I mean? They run into
Luke from.
They're running on the street. And they go, yes, it's Dr. McVicker from One Life to Lead or something. But they don't know the actor's name. Now, I'd say Pamela, it'd be more Pamela than it would be Valerie.
Right. Then, like, people aren't going to come up. Like, people will come up to me on the street and be like, "Oh my God, you play Nikki, blah blah blah." But they're not going to be like, "Oh, Natalie."
Right.
They're going to yell Nikki.
I'm going to yell
Nikki.
Nikki.
That to me though. They said Sean Baker.
Well, hi, you've been in
But no,
other things.
but I hear you.
You're already a superstar.
No, I'm not saying that it can't happen, and there aren't people that don't stick around for the credits.
Pam
but
is an international superstar. You have to
that's
keep that in mind,
right.
So you know.
She's a superstar.
That is
Pam's the bomb.
We love her.
That's
we do love her. She's the bomb.
we do. All right.
And people love her. So,
They do, and that's why I know we don't have long as a society. I really mean, this society's it's coming undone.
Guys have your
Lance,
and their ankles.
You're 27.
Yes, I want to address a few things quickly. First of all, Adam, wouldn't you call it abuse if you had a porn star for a therapist and she wasn't giving it up to you?
Yes, I would. It really, I mean, how much lower could you go? You're dating a porn star therapist, you're not getting laid, and you're getting married. You're planning on getting married.
I call that trouble.
Yeah.
Another thing is, based on your last caller, I think he exemplified that our species is in trouble. The fact that he's intelligent and articulate, and he doesn't seem to be
concerned
about procreating, like some of the other bottom dwellers you have calling.
Yeah, that's a very good point. As a matter of fact,
call them?
bottom dwellers, which I'm guessing isn't a compliment. But guys like that have a much lesser chance of getting laid than some of the bottom dwellers that call in. That's going to be a problem from a societal standpoint. Lance, anything else?
Yeah, actually.
You have the cystic fibrosis.
Say again?
You have cystic fibrosis?
Yes, I have cystic fibrosis. My parents passed away when I was 9 and 10. Heart disease and breast cancer.
Oh, my God. Do you have siblings?
Yes. An older sister who's, I believe, 6 years older than me, and a brother that's 2 years older than me.
Who took care of you?
My father's fraternal twin brother, who was a bachelor his whole life.
Wow.
And that was really hard
God
on
bless
him. He doesn't, or he started out not really appreciating kids, and
yeah.
with it.
How's your cystic fibrosis going?
It's all right. I have phases where it's bad. When I was going through my teen years, it was really bad. When I was a freshman in high school, I was 5'2" and 87 pounds, and now I'm doing really well. I'm 145 pounds and 5'6".
Drew, what is the cystic fibrosis?
Go ahead, Lance.
Quickly, it's a genetic disease which affects the
airways.
Yeah, the airways by means of the sodium and potassium channels in your cells. There's a screwed up exchange in that, and so it affects all secretions, and that would include
sweat,
your lungs, your digestive.
Well, what's it do to your sweat?
It's salty.
High chloride.
They test you for. That's one way they test you for it.
Sweat chloride test.
Well, I'd be blinded. If my forehead dripped so much, I'd immediately be blinded.
But Lance,
I have to wear goggles.
It leads to a progressive destruction of lung function, and
and you die of it, of lung diseases, or not lung disease, but of pulmonary.
Any plan for a lung transplant for you?
I've had my pulmonary function test as low as 40%. Right now, I think they're at 80. I fluctuate a lot, but no, I'm not in the market for that. I'm very happy about that.
Hey, listen, by the way, speaking of more controversial topics, I'm all for the selling of organs, by the way.
I'm all for it, too.
Oh, I know you are. But I want to be on record as saying I'm for it and I don't need one except for a penis. But what I'm saying is there's a huge shortage of livers and lungs and all sorts of transplantable organs in this country. People won't get on board with this. They won't be donors. There's some sort of a huge ethical problem with buying it. And quite frankly, I don't understand that. If you got money in the bank and somebody's willing to part with theirs or at least agree to it after the motorcycle accident, I say why not? I don't know why everyone freaks out about this so much.
I think it's better to clone organs because then you're just exchanging transplant disease if it's not of your system.
Pardon me? Say that again?
If you clone organs,
if you clone the organ,
better off. Otherwise, you're just exchanging one disease for transplant disease.
Yeah, but in certain cases, I mean, not necessarily perhaps cystic fibrosis. So even though Drew's a doctor, he's still not compelled to jump in here. He's going to let me paint myself in a corner. But there's other diseases where you can just go ahead and change out the organ and be cured. And for those people, for those thousands of people who need one each year, I don't see what's wrong with it. I mean, if I had a few bucks in the bank and I had a kid who needed a liver, I'd want to buy one for him. I'd be pissed off if someone said, get in line. And, by the way, some rock star that drank too much in the 70s just took cuts. He's in front because people know who he is. All right, Lance, what else?
Well, my father, before he passed away, was an alcoholic, and he beat up my mom and us, my siblings, a little. And the manifestation of all this is that I think I'm a codependent victim, and I'm in a relationship that is beginning to mean a lot to me, and I don't want to sabotage it. And I'm not sure if I'm doing the right things to master my problems. Based on a call you had a couple weeks ago, I went to Al-Anon, and it seemed to address some issues that resonated within me, but I think there's more to it, and I'm just not sure what else I could do.
Drew, you going to talk this hour, or you're just going to read faxes?
I'm just confused by what you're asking exactly.
Well,
you're aware that this relationship is difficult because it's real, and you're having trouble remaining available in it because of your tendency to be a victim and to be codependent, and you're afraid you're going to sabotage this, right?
Correct.
So you've gone to Al-Anon.
Right.
And it was okay.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, I've gone once. I plan to go continuously. I know.
Okay, we'll get a sponsor, work the steps, and that's one place to start with all this.
Well, it's like therapy, and there's Al-Anon.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else
How's
to
the
do.
relationship working out?
Oh, I just put him on hold. Why the hell was
7.
he? 7. Hey, Lance.
Yeah.
Is the relationship okay?
Not exactly.
What's the deal?
And that's partially why I'm calling. I tend to overdo things. I want to give as much as I can give, and she's that kind of
scares her.
She doesn't understand how I can be so giving when she's maybe not as giving as I am.
Yeah, maybe
you just back off just a little bit. You know what I mean?
Giving and clinging, Lance, might be two different things.
It's hard to do when you've been deprived of affection for such a long time.
Yeah, and then something feels really good, and you just are so afraid to lose it, and you want to just hold on to it.
Right, and I've dated plenty of women, and I honestly feel that this one is the right one, and I'm really afraid of losing this one.
And how long have you been together?
5 months. This is my longest relationship.
If you're really impassioned about this and you really believe this is the right one, she must be an alcoholic.
Oh, really?
I mean,
don't make me go back to him again. Is she a drinker, Lance?
I'm afraid so.
Yeah.
Oh, see? Drew knows more than all of you. Oh, boy. So he's going to save
And
the
get
save
to the
loser.
Al-Anon meetings, for sure.
Yeah, you need to get help, man.
Oh, brother.
You need to
You
feel-
should
you need
realize
to-
that you have a problem, though.
Isn't attraction wonderful?
But he does. The thing about it is that
commending
you
him
need to
for
feel good about yourself, so you don't, like, even if she leaves, you're going to be okay. You're going to be sad, but you're cool. You have to build up your own self-esteem.
How do you get romantic love to be based on something other than total pathology?
It is. It frightens me that you hear about attraction and all that, but it's all just weird, primitive melee. That some soup that was cooked up when you were 3 years old.
When you were 2.
Your parents were alcoholics. They were abusive. They died. Now you are having a relationship based on the energy of 20 years ago.
Right,
and that's what that attraction is. He could have the most qualified, beautiful, giving, loving girl in the world, but if she didn't have that alcoholism thing going, he wouldn't be in.
Well, also, people like that love for the wrong reasons. They don't love just because they're totally in love with that person. They're selfishly loving.
Yeah, but what is love is really our question,
well,
and what
love
gets
is
them to
different to
love.
other people.
You're bringing up an interesting point. You want to try that, articulate that a little further? Because I believe that codependence is a kind of a narcissism.
It's selfish. I mean, I've met codependent people, and they're like, they do all these wonderful things just for other people to praise them.
Right.
So that to me is very selfish.
That's very grandiose.
That's not loving for the sake of love. That's trying, like.
That's needing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so me, isn't it, Drew?
Oh yeah.
You're so much like that, Adam. I could tell immediately.
But that's interesting.
Well, I want people to love me for who I am, not what I do for them.
I know codependent people, and they act like I want. I dated somebody like that, and he was always like doing all these wonderful things for people, and everybody was always praising him. And I was like, you know what?
That's BS.
You're whack. Yeah. You're totally selfish, and you just want everybody to like praise you because you're insecure about yourself. And it's not. I'm giving because I really want to help you out. I really care a lot about you. That's why I'm doing this. You're doing it so that they are like, oh, you're so great, and it's a selfish kind of love. It's definitely narcissistic.
It's sort of a reverse narcissism.
Yeah.
Closet narcissism.
Yeah.
Not saying that. I think that his particular situation is
really
he's
she's genuine. He's real genuine about this woman.
Well, no, I don't feel that. I feel that
but I mean, his own personal. He doesn't realize that.
He needs something.
No, absolutely.
And he has a feeling right now about this girl, and that's what's giving him that. I'm not so quite sure that he really loves her.
Right.
It's like the situation is making him feel better than he's felt in a long time because, he's been through so much, whether she's an alcoholic, whatever she is, it's feeding something in him. It's not like true love for her. That's why he needs to realize that. Whether if it's a week, if it's 5 months, the problem still is the same thing,
So that's why when Pamela was late, we weren't going to feed in any kind of codependent way.
Right. That's very good.
Remember that?
Very good point.
Don't talk about my girl. No,
well,
she was late. She was a little late.
Oh, really?
She's late everywhere she goes.
She's not really.
No, she's
it's either
not,
Pam is totally on time
she's
or
in time.
and also she's got children and
I have
Drew's got 3 kids. She's from 3 wives.
and
Listen,
but you're not the wife.
I just wanted to start the show on time, and when she showed up, she would show up.
How late was she?
She's in
She wasn't that late. It went
a half hour, maybe.
It wasn't that.
What really pisses us off, we're so codependent. We're never less than an hour early to anything we're required to be at.
Well, I'm like a really, I'm a kind of like a times person. Yeah. I love to be on time. I do not like people to be late. For me, don't make me wait. Yeah. If my boyfriend is late, you know what?
And why are you defending Pam?
Because that's my homegirl, and I know what her life is like. Hectic.
Yeah, she's pretty busy, man.
Very
busy.
She's got a lot going on. Her kids.
Listen,
like
I'd say horrible things about Drew when he's not around. I suggest you guys do the same with Pam.
No way.
I never stop bad mouthing.
Yeah, the difference is Adam used to say horrible things when I'm right in front of you.
Well, that's true too.
Well, if you knew her like we do,
listen. Listen. I
She's
said this
in-time.
on the air. Nothing personal. It's just the
Well,
girl.
you keep bringing
the girl's
hostility.
a reputation of no.
Not
You know
hostility.
what? I was not upset at Pam at all.
Well,
I was
picture,
upset at her publicist and the pussies at our show that wouldn't start the goddamn thing on time and had to sit there and cower.
Well,
I can't stand that.
An autographed picture of Penthouse do for you.
Julie, what's up?
No.
Julie.
Well, no, because she wasn't in a Penthouse.
Julie, you there?
Playboy.
Julie?
hello.
Hi, what's going on?
Hey, I want to tell you guys, you are incredible. Adam, please keep telling us more about the morning after pill.
Well, that's true. But yeah.
And please talk more about organ donation.
Oh,
really?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't understand why everyone isn't signed up to be a donor, and why that's not more of a priority. And again, it's just one of those things. Until your kid needs one, I don't think you're going to bother bringing it up.
Right. Well, one person can save 6 lives.
Mm-hmm.
So please, everybody, do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm with you, and I'm also I'd like to buy one. I'd like to buy one just to have one on hand. I mean, like people keep a flashlight in their glove box. So they can keep a
What would
liver.
you like an extra liver?
I'd just like to say, I make some okay money. Why not?
6
why not
lives.
buy one?
We've got 2
Keep it in your
kidneys,
freezer by
1
the ice
liver, 1 heart, 1 lung. How do you get 6 lives out of that?
I don't know. That's what my dad's doctors always
Drew's
said.
doing the organ math
Maybe
here.
pancreas.
Let's see. Pancreas can save a life. Okay. Can they can't.
Kidneys, 2 kidneys.
2 kidneys, liver, lungs, heart.
They can't transplant intestines or anything like that.
Yeah, people have tried stuff like that, but it doesn't really.
Julie.
Yeah.
All right. What's going on with you?
Well, I'm 19. I'm a dancer. I smoke a lot of pot, and here it is. In September, I met this guy. We really hit it off. Got along great. And I wouldn't commit to him because he's unemployed and he's an ex-con, and he just seemed like he should be such a bad guy.
Oh, well,
Right,
cut
right,
him some
right.
Back up.
What kind of dancing do you do?
I'm sorry?
What kind of dancing do you do?
All kinds of dancing.
Ballroom.
I do stage dancing,
Stripping?
bachelor parties. I'm having a really hard time hearing you guys.
Do you strip?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Hold on a second. We got to take a break.
And our show, dancer, never means anything else.
No, it's
ever.
not modern jazz or tap.
Yeah, ever. It has never in the history of the show meant anything else. And each time in my head I go,
point,
waltz, dance, tap. This goes through my head.
Arthur Murray.
If Arthur Murray, if Baryshnikov was on the show, he would actually have to strip. It's just the way. It's just the way it goes.
Or we'd only get calls from ballet strippers.
Right. And you always know by
Belly
the way
dancer?
it's stripping when they say dancing. And you say what kind of dancing. They go
all kinds.
all kinds or pardon me. What was
Pardon
that
me?
again?
What was that?
Repeat that again.
I can't quite hear you.
That's right. I hurt my ear on the pole. All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll finish off with Julie. She's doing a little dancing, a little weed smoking, that kind of girl.
The phone number for Loveline is 1-800-LOVE-191. Loveline, I'll be right back.
Hey, thank you, Mike. Loveline. Natalie Raitano and Sean Baker are both here from VIP. Drew, you got any faxes that are worth a damn there?
Hey,
Not yet.
Desmond.
No. Okay. Wayne Brady's going to be in here tomorrow night from, what the hell show is that? The improv show. I can't think of the name of it. Whose line is it anyway? Yeah. He's real
Drew
funny.
Carroll,
I haven't met him, but I was just talking to someone about him today. So he'll be in here tomorrow night. And you figure if you're doing an improv show for a living, you're going to be pretty damn funny on the radio, and that's what I'm counting on. Julie.
Yes, hello.
All right. So, boy, you're like a Charlie girl. You got a lot of different personalities. A lot of different facets here. You're doing a little dancing, doing a little weed smoking.
Yeah.
You're hip to the organ donation.
Oh, definitely.
And the morning after.
And
yeah.
You like the bad boys.
Yeah, I do. I admit it.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be a problem. How are you going to always
It
have
is a
problems with that?
What? Now, we would predict that because you're stripping, you have an issue or two with men.
No, actually, I just really need the money.
Drew, don't buy that.
No.
No, well, I'm 19. I have no education, and I live on my own.
What are you doing? Topless or bottomless?
Actually, I do a little of both. I have a really strange actual job. I don't think you guys have it in California. I model lingerie, and I also do bachelor parties, too.
You model lingerie.
Right. We still show pretty much everything, just not all at once.
Do we have lingerie? What do you mean we don't have it in California? You mean the modeling? You mean the parties?
Right, well, I didn't think it was as popular out there as it is here.
Where's here?
Chicago.
So, how does modeling lingerie work?
Well, you pretty much just walk around and give lap dances for money.
But that's stripping. I mean, that's working at a strip. That's wearing a pair of frilly panties at a strip club. We're not modeling lingerie.
We do this in just regular bars, though, not like clubs or gentlemen's clubs.
So what
You
happens?
do it at regular bar. Well, hold on a second.
All that stuff?
How can you walk around in a thong back and give a lap dance at a regular bar?
It's legal out here. Well, at least semi-legal.
We gotta move
Chicago.
We gotta move to Chicago. All right, and you do some stripping,
right?
As well, and you make some good money.
Right.
But you got to have some issues with the guys. Where's your dad?
Okay, here we go. Here's my list.
There we go.
Gone. He's gone.
Where's he?
What'd he do to you?
He did nothing to me. I've never been molested or anything. He just left when I was about 6 months old. No contact from him ever again.
And how about your stepdad?
He was wonderful. He just passed away this summer. My mom and he had been married for about 10 years. And, we didn't get along for a lot of it, but...
Why?
No, I thought he was wonderful.
Yes, in the end, we finally had a good relationship.
Yeah, the end doesn't really matter.
Was he abusive to your mom?
The unfortunate part of life is the end doesn't count. All the damage has been done.
Well, I mean, he can't be that wonderful if you're out on your own, with them not even helping you. So,
my
such a young age.
Let's get to the bottom of what kind of guy it was. Go ahead.
Okay, the guy I'm talking about now?
No. The stepdad.
Seriously, he was not a bad guy. Honestly, I was an ungrateful little brat who just flipped out, and I didn't react well to him at all.
How old were you when he came onto the scene?
I was 8.
You're 8. So it was just you and your mom for 7.5 years?
No, we lived with my grandparents till about a year before that.
What was your grandfather like?
Wonderful. I love him to death. Incredible man.
Any weird neighbors or anything that got to you?
Nope, never. Not at all.
And when you say you flipped out with your stepdad, what did he do when you flipped out?
He was very calm. He was very calm, very quiet man. I can think of him yelling at me like twice in 10 years. So, I mean, he just pretty much...
It's not impossible.
Not impossible.
This is not impossible.
Well, believe it or not, I got lucky.
No, we do believe it. We do believe it.
Your mom didn't have any other jerk-off boyfriends?
No, actually, I didn't meet a lot of her boyfriends.
It seems like resentment towards the dad that left with no contact.
That's certainly an issue.
But it's usually more than that, too.
Usually something a little bit overt. But dad abandoning at 6 months and not growing up without a dad is a serious male issue. And you're going to grow. It's like you now spend your time trying to get the attention of men.
Or the empowered over men.
And trying to control them.
And not just any man, but bad men. Exactly.
Bad men.
Yeah.
Right.
Bad boys.
Now, where is your dad? Did you say he passed away or just stepped out?
Passed away.
Oh, my stepfather passed away, but my natural father, who knows where he's at?
So
I heard Florida once.
Did you ever try to find him?
No, I didn't. I have located some relatives just actually a few miles away, but I've never talked to them or anything.
And he never... And listen, by the way, just a bulletin to all guys out there who have knocked up chicks and split. If you had a daughter, rest assured they're stripping. So enjoy yourself wherever you are, knowing that your daughter's shaking her ass and having dollars stuffed into a garter belt. So
just for money. Just because you need
Just for money, yeah. So what do you want to do now?
Okay, well, I want to know, this guy I started telling you about, the really bad one. He really is a good guy, believe it or not.
Just like the stepdad. Yeah, go ahead.
No, my stepdad's a way better guy than he is. But anyway, he just moved to Arizona last week, which coincidentally is where I'm moving in about 6 months.
What does he do for a living?
I don't know what he's doing out there. He's still looking for work.
Why did he leave you?
I don't think it was me he left. It was just the area. He just needed a new start.
I'm going to work that angle.
Wait a second. Why was he in jail?
Honestly, I don't know. It was like 10 years ago, though.
No,
and he never told you?
No, I never asked.
Are you following him?
You don't want to know.
Am I following him? No.
You said that.
Oh, no, that's just, I had been planning that for about a year anyway.
Well, listen, when you work in your underpants, best to move to a warm climate. Chicago can be kind of painful.
Try L.A.
Running out to the car, feeding the meter, stuff like that, in your underwear. Cold winter.
Where's that accent she's got from? Is it
It's
Iowa?
From Chicago.
No, it's a little bit different.
Chicago. I have an accent? Wow.
Hey,
It's
Julie,
totally Chicago.
Julie, you're not a little bit curious why the guy was in prison?
Well, yeah, of course I always wanted to know, but honestly, I bet it was drug charges.
Okay. How long were you guys together for?
We were never officially together. I would not commit to him, but it was about 4 months.
Stepdad didn't drink?
So you've known him for 4 months?
Right.
Stepdad and mom didn't drink?
My mom always drank.
Mom's alcoholic. Okay, perfect.
All right, now it's starting to come together.
Okay.
It's like it's like when I used to watch Slides over at my grandma's house. It took her about 15 minutes to adjust the focus on the thing. Who's that by the pool? No, that's your sit. No, oh, it's me. Okay, thank you. Put the wine down. There you go. All right, but eventually it comes into focus.
My mom was never, drunk. Honestly, I've seen her drunk up until my dad died about 3 times.
She drank every day, though.
Yeah, but she sure did.
All right, that's drunk.
That's substantial.
That's an alcoholic. Okay, so, hey, Julie.
Yeah.
How old is this guy?
Oh, you're going to hate me.
I know.
He's 32.
Ooh. 32, 19, prison record.
Right.
All right.
And I'm a good girl. I really am.
I know.
Where'd you meet? Stripping?
Yeah, I met him at the bar I work at.
Yeah. Right. So he's good as gold, this guy. All right, so Julie, why don't you
Have you slept with him?
No, I have not. I mean, we've done pretty much anything else, but no, I would never sleep with him.
You'd never sleep with him.
Why wouldn't you sleep with him?
But they've done everything else.
Right.
I know, but see, Julie, it's funny. Julie is effed up, but not that effed up, and she's kind of.
Have you had oral sex?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But there's pieces that it's like Swiss cheese. There are pieces that are like.
I think of it more as like a pimento loaf.
Oh, of course, yeah, but
you were holding out, right?
Right. I knew if I slept with him that I knew it would be the best sex of my life. I knew I'd fall madly in love with him. And
okay.
So why'd you have oral sex?
What's that?
Doesn't create the same connection.
No, not the same emotional bond.
All right. Well, Julie, you've got some vestige of health there. Build on it.
It's a good point. Yes, look at it as it's like a gin rummy hand where you got some bad cards, but you got a couple of good ones over in there.
Build a hand.
And in your case, you got more bad ones than good ones, but you got a couple of good ones. Now just start discarding some of those bad ones and see if you can't build on that. It's going to take a little while.
Don't
though,
chase this guy.
Don't go out to Arizona, please.
Yeah.
Sharon,
she's going to Arizona anyway, but don't look this guy up.
Sharon.
Yes.
We got about 40 seconds here.
Okay.
You're 43 years old. Your boyfriend's penis.
She's 31.
Sorry. Your boyfriend's 43, and his penis never gets very hard.
Right.
You want to know if it's age? Is it a big penis?
It's average.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Average to you is 9 inches? No.
Is he on medication? Viagra,
I'm sorry, what?
Does he get high a lot?
No, he does not.
Good question. Any medication he takes?
Not that I know of. No, I would suspect not. He's a heavy mountain biker.
Oh, really? Well, that could be something.
Yeah. By the way, you can damage the pudendal nerve down there.
And now I read that in a magazine this last week, and I was
Does he know you feel this way?
No, he doesn't. This is not a serious relationship. Okay, I've seen him on and off since Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And
so why are you worried about it?
We can bring it up again tomorrow night. Sherry?
All right, hang on.
We can get Sharon back.
We got to take a break. Here's the deal. If it's not a serious relationship, then why bother?
She's just curious, though. So
okay. Listen, I don't trust a guy who's 43 and a heavy mountain biker. It means he's smoking a lot of weed. Because you shouldn't have that kind of time at 43 to do heavy mountain biking.
Absolutely.
And so I'm not only is it the seat post, but it's the bong that he's got pushing up his ass. That's what I'm thinking. All right, we'll be back.
Adam and Dr. Drew will be right back on Loveline in just a minute or two. Call 1-800-LOVE-191.
Well, it's probably not quite as screwed up as dating the same one.
It's the flip side
it's mildly
flip
less.
side of the same coin.
Oh, please, give me a little more credit. Isn't it worse or better? It's better.
It's the
okay,
same.
we're out of show, everybody. As you could hear us grinding to a halt. VIP, everybody. Please, Natalie and Sean, thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks for having us. Number
Thanks
one
for
show.
having us.
Keep calling Loveline.
Check your
Hey,
local
Molly. Hey, Leia.
local listings.
Pam.
And
Oh, yeah.
Joe.
Oh yeah, get all the props
Desmond.
in.
George.
And until next time, Sam Kroll for Dr. Drew saying mahalo.
This has been Loveline. The views expressed on Loveline are not necessarily those of the staff, the management, or the sponsors of this radio station. And are probably not the views of Westward One Entertainment. Loveline is produced by Ann Wilkins Ingle. Now, please listen to this station longer.